Happy Monday, everybody. This is Sandra Blackie, and I am coming to you live on Facebook. This is Body by Blackie Live, and our topic for today is your physique stuck? Meaning, are you not making progress towards your health and fitness goals? So when I talk about is your physique stuck, I'm talking about somebody who is no longer achieving their goal. Like, nothing's happening. They're not getting stronger. They're not getting more muscular. They're not losing weight. Their performance in a sport isn't being enhanced by what they're doing in the weight room. In other words, nothing's happening. So assuming that you have reasonable genetics and that you have no injuries and no medical issues, did you know that there's only 3 reasons why people don't get their goal? Just 3. I mean, it sounds like there might be more than 3, but really there are just 3. So feel free, if you're coming on board, to take a listen tonight, to tag 3 of your friends that may benefit from this broadcast. So this is Body by Blackie Live. Sheila Warren, Brian O'Connor, Chris. Oh, Chris Kostoff. He used to be a client of mine. Welcome, Chris. So feel free to pose your questions or tag some people if you want them to come on board. So let's get down to the top 3 reasons why people fail to reach their fitness goal. And again, I said they have decent genetics and they're medically sound. So we're not talking about those issues. So number 1, the steps and protocols that the person is using aren't conducive to the goal. So an example might be a person is lifting heavy weight. They're doing maybe 3 to 5 repetitions. They're resting 2 to 3, maybe even as long as 5 minutes in between their sets. They're working in a strength way, but their goal is to lose weight. So they're not using the right steps and protocols to lose the weight because the rest intervals are too long, their reps are too low, and their weight is really heavy. I'm not saying that weight should not be heavy if you're working in strength, but if you're working towards weight loss in the weight room, strength training is not the best way to go about it. If we're talking about losing weight and the goal is to lose weight and keep it off, in other words, you're losing weight in a healthy, sustainable kind of way, but you think that you should never eat a carbohydrate. So the steps and protocols are not conducive to the goal if you want sustainable weight loss, because the human body can't exist without some amount of carbohydrate in an ongoing way. That's not to say that some of these low-carb diets don't make the scale weight go down in a short period of time, but the likelihood of the scale weight staying low over a lifetime probably won't happen if the calories or the carbs are too low. So number 1, the steps and protocols are not set up to meet the individual's goals. So as a personal trainer with 35 years of experience, when I interview my clients, I want to know what their training goal is, but also their training status so I can get them there. What training status means is, where are they today? Where are they in terms of their experience in the gym? Where are they in terms of the experience with their healthy lifestyle habits? So I need to know a lot about the person before I can tell them what to do. So as a personal trainer, I see a lot of people not following the right steps and protocols to get their goal. And this isn't necessarily because they have poor instruction from a professional. I mean, that can happen. But a lot of the times they're following something their friend is doing, or they've seen a blog or an article by somebody who looks great on the internet, and they think that what that person is doing is what they should be doing. But really, we need to start where the person is at. That's training status. And the training goal really has to be realistic. It should follow that SMART acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. That's a tongue twister. So that's the first one. The second reason why people don't get their goal when they're working towards a fitness goal is called adaptation. That means that the person has adapted to the physical stress. In other words, there's no new stress. So an example could be the person has been following the same program for a year. Their weights have been the same, the rest of the intervals have been the same, the sets, the reps. There's been no change in the acute variables that a trainer would manipulate to keep you moving towards your goals. So the human body is a really miraculous machine. And back in 1986, when I was working with Charles Poliquin, he was doing some research at the University of Montreal up in Canada. And he wanted to prove when adaptation took place in the weight room. And so he had a bunch of people, and my training partner and I were part of the research. We would do a weight training program for 4 weeks. And the only thing that we were allowed to change in the weight training program was the weight. We weren't allowed to change any of the other variables. Now, what we discovered was that after 20 weeks of doing 5 different programs for 4 weeks each, that in the first week we were finding our weights to start the program. The second week, within the steps and protocols of that particular program, the weights were going up. The third week, the weights were going up a little bit more. And by the 4th week, adaptation was taking place, and the way it showed up was that the weights were not going up much at all. So way back in 1986, Charles Poliquin taught me that adaptation took place to physical stress by around the 4th week, maybe with a beginner about the 6th week, and then the program has to be different. The program has to change in some way that's conducive to the goal. So another way of thinking about adaptation is doing the same behavior, expecting different results. And most of us know that that's also the definition of insanity, right? Hi, Ian Harrison. Oh, wow, you're coming from England. That's a long way. And my friend Vic Gibbs from Canada. If you see value or you hear value today, feel free to tag some friends and invite them to come on the call. So we've gone through the first reason why people don't reach their fitness goal, and that's the steps and protocols are not conducive to the goal. The second one that we've talked about today is adaptation, that the person has been doing the same program without any change in mode, intensity, frequency, or duration for an extremely long time. So what I've learned is that adaptation takes place by the end of the 4th week, and to this day, when I'm training my clients, after 4 weeks, I totally rewrite the program and I put it into something called periodization, meaning if I know that we have 12 weeks to get to a certain goal, that I am planning these 12 weeks as the macro cycle, each 4-week program as a mesocycle, and sometimes we do little microcycle changes, meaning in the workout we might change an exercise. Maybe it's barbell press, and maybe the next week we incorporate dumbbell press instead. But something has to change in order for a person to continue working towards their goal in a productive way where they don't get stuck. You don't want to get stuck in your approach to your goal, right? Another friend of mine from Canada, Peter Eric Christofferson, he owns a couple of supplement stores up in Canada too. Thank you for listening to the call. Now, for those of you who are actually on this call, feel free to pose your questions in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them either right now or once the live is done. So you ready for number 3? The third one, I bet you most of you can guess what the third reason is. The third reason why people don't get their goal is the main reason. The person or the people are simply not compliant. That suggests that they have the right nutrition, the right exercise program, the right lifestyle protocols in place. They've got a good mentor or a good coach, but they're simply not following direction a high enough period of time to actually get the goal. So if I've got a client and I'm asking them to eat a certain way, if they're a bodybuilder 1 week out from a competition, Yeah, I want them to be 100% compliant. But the average person can probably see results on a nutrition program being 80% compliant, as long as the other 20% is not binging or having cheat days and cheat weeks and, basically overdoing it. Oh, my friend Carol Ann from Quebec is listening too. A lot of Canadians online. Oh, Babs Hogan, she's from Texas, and she was part of our group way back in the muscle and fitness camp days back in the late 80s and early 90s at Loyola Marymount College. So a lot of people over a long period of time coming on just to listen to little old me. So if the individual is just not following protocol, following the program, when I work with a client, I want to find out, number one, what their why is in the first place. Why is it that they want to lose weight? Or why is it that they want to be more muscular? Why is it that they want to jump higher in basketball? If the why is strong enough, people are more compliant. If the intention is strong, people are more compliant. If people are always talking about the reasons why they can't get the goal, that negative self-talk actually has a negative effect on whether they are likely to get the goal or not. Two things I hear all the time: reasons for not doing what I ask my clients to do. I bet you can also figure out that number one is time. People tell me all kinds of stories about how they don't have time to go to the grocery store or to go to the gym or to meal prep. And one of the things I just have to say, and I mean it with all due respect, whoever you believe is your God or your creator gave you 24 hours, gave me 24 hours, gave everybody 24 hours. So it's not lack of time that makes people non-compliant. It's the belief that they don't have time. So where I go with that, I sit down with my clients, we talk about some time management skills, some strategies to create the time, or ways to get them to see that their belief is false. The second reason why people typically don't comply to a program is they see that there are so many other things more important than their own exercise. And I'm going to say that they see other things as a priority. Now, I get that there are reasons why we may not put ourselves first on a given day. But if that's the attitude all the time, I'm going to suggest that that is not going to serve the person that's trying to work towards any kind of fitness goal. So I work with my clients on strategies because, a lot of people know how to lift weights. A lot of people know how to do cardio. And a lot of people know the basics of nutrition. What gets in the way is their belief system, the thing that's stuck between the two ears. It's how they think. So if I can get my clients to believe that they're a priority and that we can work on some time management skills and get them more compliant, they're a lot more likely to reach the goal. And I bet you there's a lot of other reasons why people are not compliant. One thing might be they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe it's because their doctor said they needed to lose weight, but they really hate exercise, and they come to me and they go, well, I really don't like exercise, but my doctor says I have to. The why might be strong, but the desire and the passion to actually do the exercise may not be as strong. So in summary, we've got 3 reasons why people fail to reach their fitness goals. Number 1 is that the steps and protocols that they're following are not conducive to the goal. The second one is that the person following a program has been following it for too long. So they've adapted to the program. It's no longer creating new stress to the muscles, to the cardiovascular system, to the body in general. There has to be change in an organized, methodical way. And then the last one, which is the number 1 reason why people fail to reach their fitness goals, Assuming that the steps and protocols are appropriate is simple non-compliance. So does anyone have any questions about the topic for today? I would love it if you would put it in the comments below. Feel free to suggest a topic that might be of interest to you and put it in the comments below. And if you are listening today, I would love to offer you a free 30-minute consultation, whether you're local to San Diego and meet me in person, or whether you're in Canada or in England and want to do it by Skype or Facebook video. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you've seen value in this live. My name is Sandra Blackie. This is Body by Blackie Live. My website is www.freedomoffitness.com. Have a healthy day. Bye-bye.